It's time for a midweek mini summer road trip. We are headed to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This one makes me think of my childhood friend, Amanda. She moved to South Carolina from the Pittsburgh area. She was a big fan of Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm excited to highlight Pittsburgh just because it truly gives me fond memories, even though I haven't been there much, of my best friend growing up.
And this one is really pretty reasonable driving distance from you, right? Like last week we did one that I could drive to. This week I feel like we're doing an East Coast road trip.
Yeah, we sure are. It's only a few hours from me. Pittsburgh is not that far. So this submission was brought to us from our listener, Liz. I think Liz is also, just like our last midweek mini road trip, coming to Albuquerque with us next spring. Yay! So everybody else who is interested, come hang out. That is not why this destination was chosen, but I was excited to see Liz submitted it. So we are going to be friends in real life soon. I'm loving that.
Heck yes. Oh, it's going to be so fun. All right. So we always ask people in a few sentences, tell us why people should visit your nomination. And she said, we were genuinely surprised by how much we loved Pittsburgh. Staying downtown made everything feel walkable and exciting. Seeing a Pittsburgh Pirates game was such a fun experience. Between the beautiful views, friendly feel, and unique city vibe, it ended up being one of those trips that exceeded expectations. My favorite kind of trip.
Yeah, I love that they went to a Pirates game. There are so many people who travel around the U.S. just to go to all the Major League Baseball stadiums. And so that was a portion of their trip, was going to a Pirates game. And I want to remind everybody that if you have a Capital One Venture, Capital One Venture X, you can look in Cap One Travel, the experiences section, and they do release a couple seats at home games for various teams all around the country that you can pay for points and it'd actually be a good deal. Because some major league ballpark tickets are pretty cheap that you're like, why would I pay for points for that? Like you can get in for not very much. It may not be the best use of points. But the tickets that Capital One releases, sometimes it's only 4 per game. There's not many. So you have to snag them, but you're able to. I've done it, and I'm pretty sure I remember Liz DMing me that she did this for the Pittsburgh Pirates game. When they release, it's 5,000 Capital One miles for these tickets that are in fantastic spots in the ballpark. Like when we went to the Orioles game on these tickets, we saw the Yankees play right behind home plate. We were up close and personal with all of the players. So if you are one of those people who loves to go around to ballparks all over the country, if you're going to go to these ballparks and go on this adventure, I see lots of dads and their sons that this is like their dream travel, right? They want to check off all the ballparks around the country. Be looking in the Capital One experiences. See if maybe you can snag those special tickets. They drop them every few months. Like at the beginning of baseball season, they'll just drop them for like April and May. And then late May, they dropped them for June and July. So it's a little bit at a time that they drop these tickets. So just a little tip, if you're into visiting major league ballparks, something to consider.
It's such a hot tip. That's really, really awesome that you can do that. All right, so we asked about what hotel they stayed at and how many points it was. They stayed at the Hyatt Place Pittsburgh North Shore. At the time of the submission, that was 15,000 points per night, which is great, especially because she said it was really in kind of the heart of it and it was walkable. I mean, that's my favorite.
It's time for a segment called How Did Relief Band Save Your Life This Week, Joanna? Because you don't just use a relief band when you travel anymore. You use relief band in everyday life because it has been life-changing for you.
Yeah, I'm a nauseous queen over here, okay, guys? I have such a sensitive stomach. It's almost embarrassing, but I have realized now that my relief band just needs to be fully charged and in my purse at any given moment, because not only will I save my own life, I will save the lives of others who are experiencing nausea. Let me tell you what happened this week. I was in a car with an 8-year-old, and she goes, I'm not feeling so good. I think I'm going to throw up.
This
There
is what you
happens
never
You
want to
never
hear
words
in
you
a
never
car.
want to hear. We pulled over on the side, and then I remembered that my relief band was in my bag because we still had several hours of mandatory driving and drop-offs for her siblings. Like, there was no way around it. She was going to have to stay in the car where she was already motion sick. I popped out that relief band so fast and put it on her wrist. And you know what? She's 8 years old, and I think some people are concerned that their kids won't be able to handle like the feeling of the electrical pulses. She didn't mind it at all. So if she can do it, you guys can all do it. She was 100% fine within like minutes. She was feeling so much better. She never got motion sick again for the rest of the day. I could not believe the drastic transformation. And then the very next day, I had a migraine that was making me nauseous, and as soon as I got my relief band charged and on my own wrist, the rest of my day was astronomically different.
I love that there is a great option that doesn't include a medication. It is, natural. Just put it on your arm. You don't have to ingest anything into your system. Fantastic. If you want to try Relief Band, please use the link in our show notes. We have 25% off, which is a better discount than you can get most places. We really bonded with the Relief Band people, and they increased the offer that we could give you guys. So this should be a really fantastic offer. Great way to get yourself a relief band, and for those other people in your life who do struggle with nausea in various forms.
And guys, just make sure that if you are using the link in our show notes and you are not seeing the 25% off come off the total at checkout, you can go ahead and pop in the discount code Wonderland, and that will also remove that 25% off for you.
So back to the episode, but we just wanted to tell you how Relief Band has saved Joanna's life recently.
That's right. I'm sure there will be more soon.
The best time of year, okay, this is what Liz recommends. They went in August. She said it was hot, but the kids did enjoy the water steps right outside the hotel. It's 500 sandstone block steps that create a really playful waterscape at a park along the Allegheny River, which sounds delightful. And you know what? If you have to do summer travel, this is a summer road trip. Embrace the water wherever you go. August is going to be hot. It's maybe not as hot as if you were down south. So that's good, but I'm sure it's the East Coast, so it still gets hot and humid. Water steps sound delightful.
That does sound delightful. I can picture it. I kind of want to look it up. It sounds absolutely beautiful. We asked if there were any local restaurants they enjoyed. She said with kids, they ate at the ballpark, and that was lovely. And they really enjoyed the Hyatt Places complimentary breakfast. We love that that is still a thing at most Hyatt Places.
Ballpark food, I know
classic.
that when you're trying to be affordable and budget friendly, it's going to cost more at the ballpark, but there is just something special about it that I want to buy the ballpark food. Maybe I could eat something cheaper or bring something cheaper, but you want to get it. You just do, and it's part of the whole environment of seeing a game and hanging out outside. So I love that they just ate at the ballpark.
I love it too. That's amazing. It's just like quintessential American summer.
Yes, yes.
As far as can't miss activities, she said the Museum of Illusions was great, walkable from the hotel. PNC Park, also walkable and a beautiful area. She said Roberto Clemente Bridge is great, and they also enjoyed the Riverwalk, which is called the Three Rivers Heritage Trail. Further from the hotel is the Duquesne Incline, which is a historical funicular, I love a funicular, with an observation deck. She said this was amazing for kids, and they drove up the steepest street in the U.S. That's pretty fun. Fun photo opportunity. She said it's a one-way road, so you can only drive up, but then the kids really enjoyed walking or running down.
I love a funicular. Are you kidding me?
So fun.
I had no idea that Pittsburgh had one.
No, I didn't either. And I think you could really turn this into, their trip was clearly short and it was kind of centered around baseball, but there's a lot of history in Pittsburgh as well. I think you could really find some cool historical sites to visit and probably make it longer than a weekend trip if you wanted to. But these are some amazing highlights.
Yeah, and when Liz submitted this, I love her honesty because she said, and this is so true, they really loved Pittsburgh partly because their expectations were so low. Sometimes, it's true. When you have a place that you've really wanted to visit, you do have really high expectations, and sometimes you're disappointed, whereas you stumble across somewhere that they really only stopped here because her husband wanted to see a game in the ballpark. It's one of the most beautiful ballpark in Major League Baseball, so they wanted to stop here on their way to Niagara Falls. So it was a pit stop for them, and they just ended up being genuinely really surprised by it. So I love that bigger context, because if you are somebody who maybe is going up to Niagara Falls or something else up the East Coast, this is a good reminder that, hey, Pittsburgh is a really cool place to stop and visit and see things. And so I'm glad that she mentioned this.
Yeah, I mean, throw in a few like colonial pit stops. The Fort Pitt Blockhouse was built in 1764, the only surviving structure of British Fort Pitt. There are some really cool landmarks that you could throw in with just a little bit of Googling, but I love the idea of keeping your expectations low so that everything is enjoyable. Like, that's really how it goes. If you are just flexible and go with the flow and you're not expecting anything out of this world, then you can't possibly be disappointed. You're always going to have fun.
Pennsylvania in general, I think, is a really underrated state. Pennsylvania has a lot of fantastic things. They have Hershey Park in the Hershey area. They have Lancaster, depending on how you say it, where you live, with the Amish community and so many cool things to do there. I was just in Philly where I flew out. Philly has so much culture. Pennsylvania in general as a state has so many cool things and is really worth visiting.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. This was a fantastic submission, Liz. Thank you so much. We cannot wait to see you in April. You guys, if you want to submit your own summer road trip mini, you know where to do it. It is in the show notes. And if you have been listening for a while and you have yet to give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, that really helps us. It feeds the algorithm. It pushes us out to new families who can also learn how to travel affordably and on a budget. If you would not mind taking the time to do that, it's really, really quick and it means so much to us. We absolutely love reading all of those reviews. All right, guys, we will see you here next time.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. We hope you learned something new and feel inspired to plan your next trip.
Remember, we're travelers sharing our experiences, not financial advisors, so always do your own research and make informed decisions.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow so you never miss a Points and Miles tip.
We'll see you next time on Wonderland on Points.